Welcome in. We're eagled up. Nerdshaw Radio on BFA Sports, at BFA Sports on YouTube. Subscribe, like the video as well, but also at Nerdshaw Radio on all the socials on the YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or X, whatever you prefer. Follow at Nerdshaw Radio. We got a lot of cool stuff coming your way. And we got to talk about the Birds, a special edition, a little bit earlier, 7:30 tonight. Instead of 9 o'clock, Eagles are going to be playing. I'm just going to jump on here a little early. I'm going out for the game, going to have some with family time, watching the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Eagles, Packers, tonight, a little Monday night football action between the Birds and the Pack in Lambeau Field. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait for this ball game. The Eagles, looking at it right now, 1.5 favorite at the moment, looking at it heading into this one. The Packers were early favorites, but tonight, big game for the Eagles coming off of their bye. This is a big one. A.J. Brown coming back. What are they going to look like in this ball game? That is the question. But I think overall, I'm going to tell you my pick early on in the show. I'm going Birds 27-24. That's what I said on the radio this week. I'm going to stick with it. 27-24. I think the score is going to be tonight, but a lot going on in this ball game. No Tucker Kraft for the Pack. They will be without him the rest of the year. Jordan Love in his last game did not throw a touchdown for the first time in this season against the Carolina Panthers. They're looking for a bounce-back win tonight, and they're going up against, the Eagles facing Micah Parsons, an old friend and foe in the NFC East. Comes out this past weekend that the Cowboys added a poison pill in the trade to Green Bay to send Micah Parsons with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's craziness. Adam Schefter reporting that over the weekend. So a lot of storylines heading into this game. Remember, the last time that the Eagles faced the Packers was in that wild card game last year on their way to the Super Bowl. They won that one. And listen, Packers line opened up. They were favorites, but Philadelphia looks like they are the favorite now. This is a big game for the Eagles coming off the bye. The Eagles are much better off the bye than you would think, especially under the Sirianni and Hurts regime. They have been really, really good. But listen, Eagles have made a ton of trades. You're going to see Jalen Phillips tonight. It's going to be under freezing temperatures tonight, under 32 degrees. It is going to be cold at Lambeau Field, to say the least. Jalen Hurts, I'm looking for in this game to see what he does. I think they're going to get the ground game really involved again in this ball game. But with Jalen, I don't think he's going to have to do too much tonight. I think they're going to get AJ involved. I think AJ is going to score tonight. But I could see Saquon having a big game. And I want to see them get him involved in the passing attack as well. Everyone thinks they're going to probably go to Saquon. Offensive line's going to have to attack. But I think the X factor in tonight's game could be Tank Bigsby. Looked really good. I know a little bit of garbage time against the Giants a couple of weeks ago, had over 100 yards in that ball game. But I think the Philadelphia Eagles coming in this one could utilize Tank Bigsby in a big way. I know, A.J. Dillon, they had, a couple weeks ago, and he was with the Packers for a couple of years, right? Could be a revenge game, but Tank's really taken over that spot, and I think this is going to be key for the Birds heading into this one to get him involved and get the running game going. We want to see them run the football, especially when it's going to be freezing cold heading into this game. And by the way, I talked about this on the Nuggets on the radio today. Jalen Hurts, not great in cold weather. Jordan Love, pretty good in cold weather throwing the football. So that's something to watch for tonight on how each team attacks each other. Jalen on the year, 70.2 completion percentage, over 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns, and a pick. He's been good, very much way better, to say the least, over the past couple of weeks. But Jalen's been much better. He's got 114.4 passer rating this year. So listen, I'm excited to see what he has tonight. But I think they're going to get the run game involved. I think Tank's going to have an impact in this game. That's what I'm looking for out of Bigsby. He ran for 104 yards against the Giants. You don't want to get Saquon hurt, but I think Saquon's going to have a day. I think this is going to be a running football game for the Eagles, especially with the cold weather. I think you're going to see Jalen lined up under center like they have, especially with no Cam Jurgens in the lineup tonight. And by the way, the Eagles are 16-1 when Jalen Hurts and Jalen Carter play going back to last year. Very, very impressive stuff. So it's good. It's all good heading into this ball game. The Eagles, they make the trades. You're going to see Jalen Phillips. You're going to get Nolan Smith back, BG, in the ball game tonight as well. That is something to factor in. Two is that what is the Eagles defensive line going to look like? How is Fangio going to get these guys involved? I think that's very, very important to the storylines in this ball game. How are they going to look? What is Nolan Smith going to look like? He's going to be active. What is Jalen Phillips going to look like in this lineup? What is Brandon Graham going to give you coming out of retirement in this game? That's something to watch for as well. How do they stop Josh Jacobs? Josh Jacobs has not had 20 carries since the week 5 bye for the Green Bay Packers. Hasn't had 20 carries in a few weeks. So how are they going to stop Josh Jacobs? Are they going to be able to get to the quarterback in Jordan Love, who didn't even throw a touchdown against Carolina? That also factors in to tonight's ball game. So I think we have an exciting contest, to say the least. I said 27-24 is going to be the score tonight. I think it's going to be a close one, going to be a wonky one, with it being so cold, with it being in Green Bay. That is my prediction for the night. But listen, they're in a good spot. If you're Philadelphia, they're relatively healthy, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And Jacobs, he hasn't broken over 19 yards for a run this year. Hasn't had a 20-yard run this season. So that bodes well for the Eagles' rushing defense in tonight's game. No Tucker Kraft, no security blanket for Jordan Love. I like where the defense stands if you're Philadelphia. But I think you're going to see some wonky stuff tonight. Christian Watson, he's had a 10% bump in snaps from the first week of the season. What is he going to look like? He's going to be number 2 receiver. What does he look like against this team? Okay. So that's going to be fascinating to watch. I think this is a big game for the Green Bay Packers, because this game decides, are they a real contender? Because it feels like they're good enough, but are they going to be able to get over the hump in the postseason, down the stretch? That's where you're going to want to know, all right, can the Packers beat a good team in Philadelphia at home on Monday Night Football in front of everybody? They're 5-2-1 on the year, but losing the Panthers, that's an interesting one. They're going to be fired up for tonight. They were 13.5-point favorites. I'm looking at the numbers now. 13.5-point favorites in that ball game. It's just crazy. It's just crazy that they lost that game. They're going to be hungry. What's Jordan Love going to look like? He's played better in the cold. Eagles tonight, hey, coming off a bye, well rested. The line's been changing. I'm very fascinated to see what this team looks like tonight overall for the Birds. Exciting one. Drop in the comments what you think, what you want to see out of the Birds tonight. But listen, they have the home field. If you're Green Bay, you got home field. You're in Lambeau. You're in freezing cold. But the Eagles, they get A.J. Brown back tonight too. And I want to mention that as well. All the noise, the trolling, the fun in the in the locker room interviews. I saw the video of after the trade deadline, reporters asking A.J. Brown about not being traded, all this stuff, the rumors, etc. And Devontae made a hilarious face behind A.J. Brown. They're just trolling a lot, man. And when it comes to AJ, I think a lot of people don't get today's culture when it comes to social media. And listen, is it annoying? Absolutely. Can he chill out? Yes, absolutely. But I think the Eagles right here are doing a lot of trolling. I think AJ Brown loves trolling the Philly media, loves trolling fans, and actually has fun with it. So I think there wasn't a ton of merit to those trade offers, especially because of the cap implications, the dead money implications that you would have if you did trade him. So listen, I think AJ scores tonight. I think he gets the ball. I think they're going to run a lot of slants, especially with being cold. Jalen not playing particularly well in the cold weather in the past. I think they run it, a lot of screens, a lot of bubbles. I think you're going to see that from AJ. I think he's going to get, I think he's going to get 6 to 7 catches tonight. I think you're going to see him in the passing game where it's bubble screens, slants, and you'll probably see him score on a touchdown tonight. I don't see them going down the field as much. I think that's what you're going to see from the Birds for the most part. They're going to run it, bubble screen, slants. I think that's what you're going to do. You're going to attack the middle of the field against this Packer defense. A lot of quick throws from Jalen tonight. That's what I expect. I think AJ scores tonight, though, as well. I think he gets in the end zone for the Eagles. They're going to want to get him back involved. Devontae Smith's been really good as of late. And I think AJ's going to have that game where it's like he's going to have a lot of yak, a lot of yards after catch, after the bubbles, after the slants. And that's where you're going to find him in the end zone. That's my prediction tonight. I got a weird feeling Tank's going to score. I got a weird feeling Tank Bigsby's going to break one off, get in the screen game. They're going to get involved in a couple of spot plays. Get Tank Bigsby involved, but it's going to be a fun one. Green Bay against Micah, attack Micah Parsons in the run game, against your former Cowboy, poison pill player. I love it. I love it. So Birds win tonight, 27-24. That is my prediction. Wanted to jump on, get on real quick before tonight's ball game. We have a couple of other things coming up on the show during the week, either this week or next week. Got an interview coming with a former NFL player. So I will talk more on that on social media. You'll see posts about it. I'll tweet it out, et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you're following at Nernshaw Radio, like and subscribe, as well as at BFA Sports. This podcast is powered by BFA Sports at BFA Sports on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Powered by BFA Sports, Nernshaw Radio. All right, go Birds, 27-24. I'm out. Peace.